Alright guys, what's going on? So like I said, today's video is going to be about why I think you should not get a bike, or the reasons why I believe would dissuade somebody from getting a bike. Now obviously I do ride a bike, I do think that you should ride, but these are reasons that you should consider when you do get a bike, you know, or if you are thinking about getting a bike, you know, are you prepared to deal with what I'm about to say, you know? If you don't want to go through with all these reasons, then I think you should not get a bike. But we're gonna fill up the tank real. Got to find my wallet. Oh, got it. Oh, yes. Let's put some of that shit in it. Does that feel good, Susie? We'll just wait for this to fill up. Where you going, dude? Jesus. I'm doing in a hurry. Drones help and offshore cocaine busts. Oh no. I better stop my operations. Hey guys. That didn't look like a drone, that looked like a man. Smells delicious. Am I the only one that likes the smell of gas? Oh, that might help. Oh, we should probably put it in first gear, huh? Look at me, guys. Y'all are listening to me on why you shouldn't get a bike, and I don't even know how to fucking ride myself. Alright guys, here it is. The reasons I think you should not ride a bike. Or more, the reasons why riding a bike is not as good as it seems, but if you're willing to live with it, definitely ride a bike. But anyway, number one, obviously a bike is more dangerous. Duh. Right? Now there's multiple reasons for that, blah blah blah. Now one of those reasons is obviously if I was to get in a wreck with something, there is nothing to protect me. Yeah, I've got my gear on, but in a car you're in this, you know, sort of eggshell where if you get hit, you've got at least some sort of protection, you know. Yeah, it might still hurt a lot, and a piece of that protection might break off and hit you, but it's still protection, you know. Now on a bike you don't have that kind of luxury. If I hit something, I'm toast, you know. I'm gonna go flying down the road. Who knows how hurt I'll get. I do wear my gear. I don't wear my pants or my boots that often, but definitely gloves, jacket, and helmet, guys. Definitely. Now you should wear all your gear. I'm a little bit of a hypocrite, but you should wear all your gear, you know. I would like to have a nice pair of pants that I could wear on my bike that will protect me. I haven't bought any yet. I do have boots, but they look funky with the clothes that I wear. Another reason why a bike is more dangerous is because you are less visible to cars. That's a simple fact. Don't take a genius to understand that. I'm smaller. It's harder for you to see me without a telescope. That's it, you know. Don't go. Don't. What are you doing? Stop. Jesus. Simple fact of the matter is I am less visible, right? Obviously you can do things to prevent that. You can get high-vis gear, you know, bright yellow gear that it's impossible for people not to see. But you know, my old bike, I had LEDs on the bike, so at night it would be more visible. That's just simple fact, you know. A bike is less visible than a car, you know. It's a lot smaller, it's harder to see. We've got one headlight, not two that are spread apart. Now, another reason why I think riding is kind of a pain in the ass is because it is literally sometimes a pain in the ass. If you ride a super sport, and like I said in the first video, I am biased towards sport bikes. This video is going to be more geared towards why you should ride a sport bike other than a cruiser. And they're more uncomfortable, you know. A cruiser, you're basically sitting on a couch, which I fucking hate, guys. Just get a car if you want that. Get a convertible or something, you know. It's basically the same thing. You're just sitting in a chair with the wind on your face, that's all. Now, sometimes my ass will get sore from riding, you know. Granted, my seat is not the best. Yeah, you can get a better seat, you know, make it a little more comfortable for you. Another reason is, if you notice, I am leaned forward a lot. Unfortunately, you can actually tell because my camera looks down. I was stupid when I set up my camera and didn't realize that whenever I am on my bike, I am more leaned forward than whenever I'm just sat like this. So I put the camera flat on my helmet, you know. I put it to where it was flush with my helmet. A sport bike is more uncomfortable. Yeah, there are like the Ninja 650, the SV 650. Bikes like that are the more comfortable versions of sport bikes. What they lack in power, they make up for in comfortability. You know, you will get sore if you ride a bike. Now, I said in the previous video why you should get a bike, that it increases your physical health as well as your mental health. Now, yeah, it is physically taxing. You know, it could help you get stronger, but the problem with getting stronger is that in order to get stronger, you also have to go through physical pain and stress together. You know, you can't go to the gym, go home and not feel sore and expect your muscles to grow, you know. So yeah, riding a bike does get tiresome, it does get sore. It's not always the most comfortable thing in the world, but you know, it does make up for it when it's fun. Now guys, another shitty thing about riding a bike is the weather. Every day before I go out on a ride, I have to check the weather. Whether it's going to be cold, whether it's going to be rainy, whether it's going to be windy, I have to prepare myself for what it's going to be like that day. Now, why am I still blinking? Now, obviously you can ride in the cold, just wear more gear. You can ride in the hot, just wear less gear. You know, it's not impossible to ride when the weather isn't perfect. Yeah, you can ride in the rain too. I have been out in the rain sometimes, and it may be uncomfortable, but it's possible. You know, now the problem is you don't have windshield wipers on your visor, so the rain starts to get on it, you wipe it with your glove, that just smears it, and then you can't see shit. Going 60 miles per hour when it's raining feels like you're getting shot. Yeah, it's like little BB bullets just keep hitting you constantly. So in areas where you're not covered, like my neck, it starts to get really sore, it starts to hurt a lot. So you gotta take into consideration, what is the weather gonna be like on this certain day that I wanna ride, blah, blah, blah. Now when winter comes around, obviously it's gonna start getting colder and colder. So you can either A, be a pussy and put your bike in your garage and winterize it, or B, suck it up, get more gear, and go ride. Now, yes, I do live in Texas, and yes, it does not get that cold here. But there have been days, especially this year, where it has got below freezing, and I've still got out on my bike. So, there's never really an excuse not to ride. If you are one of those people that when you get a bike, you are gonna make excuses not to ride, don't get a bike. That's simple, you know. If you cannot find an excuse to ride every day, and you only find excuses not to ride, then don't get a bike. A bike is not for you if you are going to make excuses why you shouldn't ride. Now, with that being said, some states, some countries, it does get really cold, it does get really snowy, and yet it makes it damn near impossible for you to ride. So, I'm not saying everybody is a pussy if they don't ride when it's blizzarding outside, but you know, if you're gonna get a bike, be prepared for the fact that some days it's gonna be cold. You can't just say, I'm not gonna ride, it's too cold today. Just put more gear on, you know, put a jacket under your jacket, get little neck socks or whatever they're called, face masks or whatever, you know, get thicker gloves, get better gear. Just make it to where the cold is more tolerable, you know. You don't have to not ride because it's cold or because it's hot or because it's rainy. Now, I wouldn't suggest riding in the rain. Not all bikes have good traction control like the new ones do. So, you know, if you don't have ABS or anything like that, I wouldn't suggest riding in the rain. The times that I have been out on the rain on this bike, it has been me going like 30 miles per hour everywhere, going 2 miles per hour around a turn. And that's because my bike was made in 2003. It has no traction control, it has no ABS, it has none of that. So it is a little sketch whenever it comes down to slippery situations like that. So yeah, take that into consideration too. You know, if your bike is not as technologically advanced as others, then don't ride in the rain, you know. So a lot of riding is to do with your decisions as a rider, you know. You have to make those mental decisions beforehand. Oh my god, that is bumpy as hell. Holy crap, my balls are getting a fucking run for their money on that one. But you have to make decisions on your own, you know. You can't expect it to be sunny every single day, you know, a nice 70 degrees, no wind, and the sun in the sky. Right now, clouds are covering the sun, you know, it's basically nighttime. But make those decisions, you know. If you want to ride, be prepared for the fact that you're gonna have to have some days where riding is not perfect, you know. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. Now, the last reason why I think you should not get a bike is still to do with the uncomfortability, I guess. But sometimes if you don't have, you know, a really good ventilated helmet, blah blah blah, it gets really hard to breathe, you know. Right now, especially when you're talking into a helmet, you know, I've got all my vents closed so the wind doesn't kind of, you know, mess with the sound. But days like this, sometimes it's humid outside, but you don't get as good breaths in as you could, you know. My visor right now is fogging up, and I don't know why I haven't lifted it, but especially when you're just sat still waiting for traffic like this, it gets harder and harder to breathe, you know. When you're moving, the air flows a lot nicer, it's easier to breathe. But sometimes you just gotta be prepared for the fact that it's gonna feel like you have asthma, you know. I'm sitting here right now and it's hella hard for me to breathe. But yeah guys, that is it for this video. I'm sorry that the reasons for not getting a bike is shorter than for you getting a bike, but you know, that should say something about it, you know. If there's more reasons why you should get a bike, then I mean, what are the disadvantages when you've got more advantages, you know? If advantages overpower disadvantages, then it's just say something about riding, you know. If I can't think of that many bad reasons to ride, but I can think of a lot of good reasons, then, you know, get a bike. If you really want a bike, or if you're really thinking about getting a bike, I would highly recommend it. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna call it a day for this one. Alright guys, peace.